Hanging out just another night of the week. Or to be more specific, it's a Tuesday Eve. Got some ideas that just might intrigue. You should come on by tonight. We're spilling the beans.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
and we're here.
We are here.
Hi, Beans.
We are here. Where are you from?
We've got chat open right next to us, so let us know if something sounds off or weird, or if there are any sounds at all. But thanks for joining. What's the episode title again?
Art on the go.
Art on the go.
Very
Portable art setups.
brilliant, excellent.
Hmm.
Well, that's good. I mean, Abel, I think you definitely have a very portable setup, especially when you're on the road.
Yep.
And when time come in the winter, in the winter months when you're working, you have extremely compact setups. It's amazing. It's kind of like, it reminds me actually of before you, if it's all right, if you don't mind explaining it, but before you explain it, it reminds me of those old kind of like traveling circus kind of
Everything just
carts.
Oh, like the stagecoach.
Everything unfolds almost like magically, and they can even they would get so crazy to like fold a certain way, and it's just really impressive. And it was something that they'd have to live out of. They were basically it was early camping, RV kind of camping, like early type situation of that. But
Is that what they were? Were they stagecoaches? Is that what you would call it?
it's interesting
Because it folds into a stage.
Right, exactly.
Right?
So I wonder if that makes perfect sense as to what that title would be. But,
Yeah.
It's just kind of like a historical thing that goes far back, but it reminds me exactly of that. And so I always looked at it as some kind of like, journeying kind of thing, like an art to portability and carrying your art around.
Yeah.
I want to go into that a little.
Yeah. You're talking about the shows.
Like the shows,
art shows?
I think also, I mean, maybe at some point we can show the vehicle that you also traveled around in, like before the shows. But I think for the shows right now, we could talk about that a little bit if you'd like. Yeah,
that. So I usually set up with a half booth, which is half of the size of what most people have.
And you do this at you set up your products like on like booths at shows, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm super conscious about making it very compact, and B, making it very portable. So I did things like so I have I do, for people that don't know, I put photography onto vinyl records. So one of the perks of them being records, first of all, is that they're flat and they don't take up a lot of space. So to travel with them, I put them in like a record cubby. So it's like a grid of a 5x2 cubby. So I use that as also the countertop for the shows. I have two of them.
Wow.
And I put them side by side, and there's a countertop that goes on top of them. And they're also on wheels. So I'll literally, in one trip, bring 2,000 records, wheel them into my booth, 2,000 records all at once,
right?
Get them in my booth, push them to a corner, and that's half of my inventory for the whole season.
Wow.
And then I wheel another one in, and all my records are in the booth. Most people at these shows make deliveries every single day.
Yeah.
They bring their stuff every morning.
And to have to lug records.
Load it in, reorganize. And these spaces, when I tell you they're small, like, it's unbelievable how small they are.
It's like maybe this area, right?
My space is 5 feet by 6 feet. I couldn't even, width wise, I can't even lay down in it. It's so small.
Right. Wow.
The space I have to actually put myself, once I get all my stuff in there, is roughly 16 inches squared.
Wow.
So that is the amount of space I have, and I sit in it's basically enough to sit on a chair and then stand up in front of the chair. And that is it.
Yeah.
You know,
That's so crazy.
it is super crazy, but
necessary. I mean,
It
you're
was-
saving a ton of money on that shipping and on any other means of delivery.
Yeah.
And all of that.
And
And
I-
you're also doing this in New York, so
Oh.
when you're based out of Rhode Island, so I mean, you need to bring everything with you in that
Yeah.
situation.
Yep.
Then you have another show in Boston going at the same time,
Yep, same deal.
right?
So yeah, it was. I'm always thinking, even though like people will even come by my booth and they're like, I can't believe that you can pull this off in here. But on top of that, I'm always thinking of ways to set it up faster, and to do it in less trips. So I can be out of there. I could be out of there within 20 minutes if I had to, you know. And it packs up into an SUV. The whole booth, one trip.
No need for U-Haul or bigger truck. Yeah.
No. And when you see this thing packed up, it's like, I mean, it's unbelievable. The seats are pushed like all the way up in the front.
Yeah.
And it fits everything just perfect. And it was like, I've always been like that. I've always felt like.
Yeah, you're really good at like organizing, like Tetris type, but 3D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that comes from when I was doing music full time. I was doing that before the record art. And I was a solo guy, but I made like my music makes a little bit more noise than, like an acoustic player, because I would use the loop pedal and there would be drums going. I would live loop everything. So it would sound like, I wouldn't say it sounds like a full band, but it doesn't sound like an opening acoustic thing, So I was always in the middle of like the headlining band and the opener.
Right.
And with that, you always want to get off stage and get on stage super quick because the last band probably has an elaborate setup, right? They probably got a bunch of people in there. So they want you to get off as quick as you can. And this was part of me like kind of getting my place, in the sort of music world there,
right?
And understanding like, what I did and whatever. And so with that, it was super important to me. I could actually fit my entire setup in my guitar bag. So I'd have the guitar bag and then the looper in the front of it, and then a little bag that hung off of it. Because there was a time where, I did a tour on bus. Right. And I had to live out of that thing. So it even had my clothes in it.
Jeepers.
Not that I had many. Not that I had, it was like maybe 2 outfits and, a couple of extra sets of socks and underwear. But yeah, that was super portable too. And I've always just kind of been like that. Like, how can I make this tighter? How can I make this more portable? Yeah. So, but nowadays, like I can do outside of my guitar, pretty much my entire setup in like a backpack.
Yeah.
I can have everything in a backpack. I've even gotten it down smaller than what it was before. Combination of like technology changing where like, most technology is trying to get smaller. So that's been super cool. Like I bought a mixer that is also an audio interface, and it basically does everything that your Tascam mixer can do. Same amount of channels, everything, and it's about this big.
Whoa.
And it's unbelievable. It has faders on it, has knobs. Like
That's
you gotta
awesome.
but yeah, it's kind of cool how technology is turning that. Cameras are getting smaller.
Right.
Yeah, you guys saw like the camera we use. That's a compact camera.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. I've been looking like for a new DSLR, and I was looking at that and others, and just like, and then I'm looking at others, and I'm like, looking at the dimensions. I'm reading the dimensions, and I'm saying, no, this can't be right, because they're the same as that one, and that one's phenomenal, and these other ones are like really, really good too.
Yeah.
And we look at our DSLRs, our T2Is, and even the T5i.
They're bulky.
They're bulky, and the
but-
better of the cameras at that time even are just, these are starting to surpass all of that. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
it is.
So I've always loved that. I've always loved having like all the things I needed on me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like when I'm spending a month and a half in New York, I got to have everything so I can work still.
Right.
Yeah. What about you guys? Have you ever like had to go anywhere but wanted to bring some work with you? Vacations or something?
Always.
We did it when we went to New Hampshire.
Yeah, I mean we've gone several places with this intention of like always jamming, because what if it rains? What if you go on a vacation and it rains?
And you're in the hotel.
What's better than like chilling in a hotel, having some beers, or like hanging out, ordering takeout, you know, and jamming, like having means to jam. So we'd bring the acoustic and a keyboard that had like a funk, usually like an older keyboard, because they have the best drum machines, or like the most interesting sounding like analog drum machines. And we'd grab a 2-channel interface. Maybe more if we might have another one that's a little more compact, but record vocals, like bring a mic and an XLR. And just do that. So in New Hampshire, and sometimes you don't get to it, and you just brought all this shit for nothing. But that means you had a probably eventful vacation or relaxing vacation. Yeah, because it is still kind of work sometimes, like
setting the stuff up.
Yeah. I mean, you set everything up. It can be a lot. And so we recorded a few tracks. It was really nice. It was great. And I don't even think it was gnarly out. We were just there for a few days, and one night
I think it was like the end of the night, and we were just winding down.
Yeah, we had time, so we did it, which is rare. But that was pretty cool. I love carrying everything that I can on me. Like my dad had this funny friend. Well, it was kind of a funny story. He had a friend that he said who was known to have like huge like pockets, because he always brought everything of his in his pockets. He always had big pockets, because not necessarily big pockets, but like they were full. His pockets were just full, and so they stuck out of his shorts. You know, like just these two big bulges. And that would be me if there's no such thing as backpacks. Maybe some of my back issues are because of that, because when I'm working, I do a lot of audio video work. I want to, just in case there's a lot of like sometimes you have to report somewhere to repair something quickly. I want to bring everything that could fix an issue. But you can't like carry everything. So then, you get smart with essentials. You kind of think of all of the things that you always have to use and the best things to keep on you, which is nice. I like that. I like utility for that. But then at the same time, all right, what do I do when there's downtime? Like I want to carry my notebook for my creative doodles or just writing. Comics, like I might want to carry a comic with me just in case, something just to step out of, which is hard to do at work. But if you can, I always want to bring one little knick-knack, like creative knick-knack with me everywhere I go. So I always like find a time or a place to put that in. And with audio, like being a bit of an audiophile, I'm like, oh, I don't know, I might need this 1/8 inch to quarter inch, like reverse, adapters. Pointless adapters, some of them. And it all eventually starts to weigh on you. But I like the idea of like Batman pulling out all kinds of shit from his utility belt that where the fuck did that come from? And you realize he's got a ton of stuff on him. Must be so heavy.
I thought of that actually. Like, I thought that would be such a cool thing, and I've looked for this.
A utility
Batman
belt. Utility belt?
No, but just like a utility belt.
Yeah.
That, I mean, I think nowadays, like people that are creative professionals or just creative people in general, they're not necessarily like, they don't focus on one thing. They have multiple outlets that they like to do. And the idea of having a belt that could take most of that stuff would be cool. Something that could clip a small camera on it and could also potentially hold like a mini tablet for drawing
on your belt.
Yeah, honestly, I carried a tablet, one of those iPad minis around for years. It fits in your back pocket.
Oh,
I used to beat
like a tiny tablet. I could see that. Yeah, that could fit in your back pocket. Yeah. But it's your belt. It's gonna start like weighing down though.
Yeah, I actually have this really cool sling that can hold all of that stuff. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I use it all the time when I'm in New York. but it can hold like a camera. It can hold
A sling?
it's like a sling, so it looks like
Is it a satchel though? Like at the end of the sling?
that's the thing. It has no it's literally a sling without the satchel,
Oh, okay.
but
Whoa.
it's full of pockets all
Whoa.
the way around.
Cool.
Yeah, and
That's neat.
I've used that a lot. I mean, I've bought so many things that that's the other thing. I get nervous about having a bag. I get nervous I'm going to forget it somewhere, and like,
Yeah.
you just have
Yeah.
like all this shit that just disappears. And
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
so like my rule was like, well, when I'm really hoofing it, when I'm really traveling, especially if I'm on foot throughout the city or something, like it has to be something I don't take off. It has to be something that's on me all the time. So I've gotten like this belt thing that had a like kind of a satchel attached to the belt,
Yeah.
and that was pretty cool. It acts as a belt. And
And when you think about it, tool belts, they have like heavy
That's what I
tools
mean.
on them, hammers, things
That's
like
what I
that.
mean,
So yeah,
yeah.
I guess that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. Like kind of bring back like the tool belt. And I've seen tool slings, same kind of thing that you're talking about. Now that I think about it. Yeah, in the world of tools, I have seen a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's neat.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought like a very custom utility belt for the stuff that you have would be
That'd be great.
cool to
really
design.
Or like
Um,
an apron, because that would take that would distribute some of the weight,
Yep.
Yeah.
like a utility apron.
And there are aprons with pockets,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
those are really handy. I'm sure they're out there.
Yeah.
You know, for like painting, things like that, and cooking.
Yeah.
I mean, have those different utensils in.
And then I'm like, whatever happened to cargo pants? Because I used to carry a real lot of shit with me.
Cargo pants are
can't-
great for that.
Cargo pants are
So many
great.
If you have
pockets.
all that stuff, that's true. But you can't like it's not.
I was always pulling my
I
pants
mean,
out.
yeah, and you can't like run very fast.
You can't
if you're
run.
in trouble,
Oh,
you
right.
can like if you're in trouble, if you have to escape something, it'd be like kind of shitty. Like it's because you were wearing cargo pants that you couldn't get away from, a situation.
That was the thing with the kind of not satchel, but the satchel thing. That was cool because it you can run in it.
Yeah, that's neat.
It's over
That's
your
neat.
shoulder, so
And it's kind of tight to
Or
your
a
body
vest.
too.
yeah.
A vest, yeah, vests are cool. Actually, I have seen this photographers who
vest.
have like what looks kind of like a gun holster, but it's a support too. But they keep like 3 or 4 cameras connected to this thing, and they can like
Oh, I
pull,
haven't seen that.
pull them up at any time. This one guy has them, yeah, and
What's
they're
that
just
called?
they're just points. I don't know. The one that this guy has is like leather. Like he looks like he's from the West when he's carrying it, but when he turns around, he's got like 3 or 4 like cameras on him.
Mm.
Is
And
it on
he's-
like a bungee so we can pull it up?
No, they're on like I think they're carabiners that
Oh,
he
you can
can,
just
like,
unclip it. real
yeah,
quick.
either that or it's like a strong springed kind of thing that he can do that. But yeah, he carries like several, and there's kind of like this thing that he does too. He holds it wherever he holds it, and it's almost like him holding it is like more tension for a more steady shot. You know what I mean? Because he's like
I wanna
holding it
see
up,
that
and it's
thing.
like steady. I don't know whether it's custom made, but every time I see him, like I kind of want like I Gareth from The Office.
Yeah.
So there's like an episode where he's wearing a phone holder, like a
Oh,
phone
the-
holster, but it looks like a gun holster. And everybody's kind of busting his chops because he thinks he looks like, and he does. He looks like a detective or something with it. And that's what this guy looks like. It looks like suspenders with like notches in it. Now that I'm realizing it is kind of like a suspender kind of like rig, but they're just, cameras just hooked on each like belt. It's leather, like belted notch. It's really, really interesting.
Yeah, that's that is an interesting thing you brought up about the gun stuff, because I've actually bought a lot of gun holders, but they're very savvy with the gun holders. Like there was one I bought that went around your ankle, and it could hold like a compact camera, like a 360 camera, or it could hold like my Osmo, the little Osmo camera that I have.
Oh yeah.
And you could put it right around here.
Yeah.
And it actually, so it had the spot where the gun goes in, where I put the camera. And then it had like a place for like clips and stuff, but I would put like SD card.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And I had like a whole setup, and I have little filters. like ND filters, and I
Yeah.
could put those in there, and it would fit right around.
Wow.
Yeah, it was super cool.
That is
That
good.
is
Um,
cool.
But yeah, they're very clever
Yeah.
with some of the stuff you can get. And because the entire idea is to have something on you that's concealed.
Yeah.
And they're, guns are pretty
It's all about
bulky.
being concealing. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well,
So-
gee, yeah, that is interesting. But no, what about with I was thinking like with clowning, we've talked about like, you have props and things like that. But
Pockets.
yeah,
I wear layers and layers with pockets.
you want to fix that mic while we can? It just looks like it's turned a little bit. Let's. There we go. There we go. Sorry.
I don't like it that high.
I just wanted to aim that part at it.
Pockets, though.
Yeah.
Just layers
Mhm.
with pockets. Best. Yeah. And then you can have some type of like bag, but the best thing is to just have the stuff on you for whatever. Like I would put all the balloons,
Mm-hmm.
balloon pump, stuff like that.
So my thing is, I agree with that. And I would do that too in the winter, in the spring, and the fall. But then when summer comes around,
It sucks.
so then what are you doing? Like,
You're
are
just
you
sweating.
so you're wearing the stuff still to
Yeah.
carry it around?
Yep.
You're still wearing the many layers with all the pockets.
Yeah, I mean, you try to figure out ways to make it more like ventilated, like because obviously in the winter I'd be wearing like long sleeves or something, But yeah, and then I usually carry like a fanny pack too. That helps to put stuff in.
Fanny packs, yeah.
Um
I always liked fanny packs. I think that's a pretty wise thing. Carry a
Mhm.
bunch of shit in a fanny pack, everything,
Yep.
and it's like right in front of you. So
Yeah.
like you can just like rest your hands on it. Nobody's going there. It's kind of safe. I think
Mhm.
putting it on your fanny is like the I think that's misusing it almost because it's like out of sight
What do you
Some-
mean putting
Oh,
it
like
on your-
behind you?
behind you. Yeah, isn't that why it's called a fanny pack?
I don't think so.
You put it
People
on your
wore it
fanny.
like that?
Huh?
I don't think people wore it like that. I don't think they.
I
I always
hope.
wore it on the side.
The side or the front, I think.
Yeah, that's how I always wore it.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I always
'Cause
thought it was a fanny pack because people like put it on their fanny, right?
I don't know.
Why is it called a fanny pack? A fanny pack?
I don't know.
Because
But I mean, that would be terrible for when you sit down.
Yeah.
You
It
would
wouldn't
just
be
crush
good.
Well, it'd be
everything.
above you though, right? It wouldn't
I
be
thought
under
that
your.
was. I'm
Let's
sure
see.
there's
Let's
a
look it
truth to that or some kind of fact, like a fan.
I'm
fanny
curious.
pack.
Where did you see that camera thing? Is this someone that you've seen in person?
It's like a pro camera person for my work that my work uses.
Oh, okay.
He's like a pro, yeah, he's just
Oh,
like
okay.
an employee there.
I wanna
He's
look
like
that
their
up.
official employee.
Fanny pack is one of the oldest accessories in human history.
Oh,
The earliest known fanny pack style accessory dating back to 3400 and 3100 BCE.
Whoa, jeez.
Why did they call them fanny packs though?
Why is it called the fanny pack?
You know, what was a cool thing that I had though for one of the last shows was it was a pair of overalls, but I like cut them so that like there were no like legs or anything.
Yeah.
So it was just like suspenders with pockets. So
Oh,
I had
nice.
back pockets, front pockets, like
that's
pouch.
That's great. Yeah,
mm,
perfect. I always like the thinking about like, something like that, and then like hiking. When you think about hiking,
Mm.
and like you want everything to be light, but you still want to be ready for
Oh.
everything. You know what I mean? You could take on that mentality when it comes to like traveling with art,
Yeah.
things like that. Priority, which is tough because I have like packed everything, and then I'm like, and there's a bunch of stuff, but I'm like, I'm not gonna use any of this. Like, I think I packed one of my like wind organs like one like last year going to New Hampshire with Kathleen and my mom. I packed this like wind organ, and I didn't use the wind organ at all.
Okay, one says it was because it was above the butt, which fanny and bum are slang for. Which is weird because it says British, but then another one says British English fanny means like vulva, and that's why they call it fanny pack because it's like above there.
I thought your fanny was a derogatory term for For what?
For the vulva.
Vulva?
Yeah. The lady
John doesn't know what
parts.
the vulva is.
I don't know what's a vulva.
It's
Explain it to him.
in the vagina area.
Oh,
Yeah. Sometimes dogs have. It's too big on dogs. And it sticks out a little.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, that happens. But yeah, right. That's what fanny means over there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's weird that it's. Oh, well, that's why it'd be called a fanny pack.
Because it's
Over
in
there.
front of there.
But they call it a bum bag. They call it a bum bag.
Oh, really?
They call it a bum bag.
really?
Yeah.
Really? Because it says British and American.
Look up bum bag. So fanny packs are bum bags. I'm positive.
I've never seen anyone wear it backwards like that.
I think I have.
Because I thought the whole
I
point
feel
was
like I
so
have.
like
I've seen
nobody
them, like,
steals
wearing it over the
stuff
right
from you because
cheek.
it's in front of you, right?
I thought I saw them wearing it on the over their right cheek. Does anything come up for bum bag?
Yeah, but it's just like
Is it a fanny pack? Say British bum bag.
punk style waist bag, vintage leather belt bag. So it's like a belt bag.
Put in bum bag.
Carhartt waist. I did bum bag.
British.
The bum bag company. Oh no, these are
Put in British bum bag versus put in bum bag versus fanny pack.
Do you guys think it'd be interesting if I went and got a bunch of my
Fanny packs?
tried, tested, bags throughout the years?
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
You
Yeah.
have 'em?
Yeah, go get 'em. Let's go see
Yeah.
'em. What do you got there for fanny packs versus bum bags?
bum bag, sometimes combined as one word, is the British term for what we in the US call a fanny pack. But this
Did you hear that, John?
But this is where it's different. It says it's a bag we clip around our waist like a belt or wear as a crossbody bag that allows you to store your essentials.
Yeah.
So it could be
Oh,
I
a
thought-
cross.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I
it
thought
could be
fanny
that.
pack was only this. Moon bag, belly bag, or bum bag, waist bag. It's got a lot of names.
I would have probably looked at least a little less doofy as a kid if I had even thought to wear my fanny pack across like
Possibly.
that.
I don't think that looks
Weird.
doofy. I think it's cool.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't really have a problem with it now. I don't think. I couldn't think of one, but as a kid, I thought it was kind of it looked like a, what I thought as a kid is I thought I looked like a dweeb.
Well, I'm sure you didn't.
Are these your bum bags, John?
Bum bag.
So yeah, I don't know if you or Abel. I don't know if you heard what Kaylee said, but bum bag is over there, fanny pack,
But it can also be a crossbody bag, not
Okay.
just a waist bag.
kind of like that.
So this is the one I use the most. And it goes on like this.
Oh, that's
Oh,
cool.
Yeah.
It can fit it can fit an iPad mini in here,
Yeah.
right? Close it up. It fits my camcorder. You know my little flat camcorder? Perfectly right here,
Mm-hmm.
which is my favorite.
Show
thing.
the camera.
So you can fit camcorder here. iPad mini fits in here.
Mm.
It's got all these pockets, like for
Put a water bottle there.
No, I don't think a water bottle will fit in there, but it can fit like a wallet bag. It has a near zip on the back,
Oh, nice. Okay.
Whoa.
So you can kind
but-
of like flip it.
but that's kind of awkward because if you put anything back there, when you sit down and lean back, you're leaning on.
Yeah, you want to make sure
Mm.
too
So
that it's
generally,
nothing.
this isn't. I don't use the back side this much, unless maybe you have something flat in there. or
Yeah.
something. But then it also opens up all the way down.
Oh, on the
So, like-
zipper.
Whoa.
This opens up.
You could put a water bottle in there.
You
Yeah.
probably could, yeah. So it literally
Oh,
opens
wow.
up a whole way.
That's great.
And you have all this entire
that's
ring
nice.
of storage.
That's a smart design.
Yes, this is
It's a very
probably
nice
the
one.
winner when it comes to after I've tried a lot of
What's
things.
your favorite?
And I use it the most. But I have a ton of things that I don't use anymore.
Yeah.
Let's see what I got.
And are these things that
That's
you
a
use
very
more
square
so on
bag.
the road, like when you were traveling?
Yep. This So this goes around your waist.
Through your belt loops.
That's the thing. It doesn't fit through your belt loops. I mean, you could. This thing makes it a little difficult to put in your belt loops,
That's
especially.
pretty though. Show it to the cam.
It
Oh, yeah.
doesn't.
That's
it
a bum
doesn't-
bag.
Yeah, that looks like a bum bag.
It
Mhm.
doesn't. It won't go through your belt loops with a belt on, and it doesn't make a very good belt. So I think that was the main thing that kind of drove me nuts about this.
Yeah.
Like, to me, the design should have been an actual belt,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Mm.
And then you run it in your belt loops, and you can tighten it when need be. But as this up here, I was able to fit like a 360 camera in here.
Nice.
They're like the smaller Osmos. The Osmos got bigger, so they don't fit in there anymore. And then it has this thing, which would hold the iPad mini. I use the iPad mini a lot for drawing and stuff. And, you know, you can do some light video editing. And then it had this for your wallet and shit. This I wore for a while before I got that. So that one's pretty cool.
That's
Yeah.
nice. I like that a lot.
I always wanted to mod this so that it had a real belt on it, though, and I think I might use it a lot more. This could
Mm.
potentially hold the camera, because that's one thing that can't hold is my real camera.
Oh
This
yeah.
could.
The camera that's filming us right now.
Yeah. It's possible I could fit one lens and the camera in here.
Yeah.
So I might revisit this one. If I can
Cool.
find a way to put the bag on there. This is another one of the satchel type. This one didn't work out. This one, it just has no room in it. I mean, it's got little pouches, but nothing seems to really fit in it. You know, like what are you going to put in this?
It's just like a strap that
It's
they
just a
attach
bunch
the
of
little
cell phones.
pockets
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
Not any,
That's
barely even,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You can't. I don't even think you could fit like
They're
one of
not
the
wide
modern,
enough anymore. Yeah.
one of the modern cell phones couldn't even fit in here.
You could fit notepads.
And it's
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
And pens.
And I mean,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
like such an overkill of a clip.
Yeah. It
And this
looks like.
thing's along your back.
Oh.
And I was just like, this was a complete fail. I probably used it once. and I
Looks
was like,
kind of like it'd be like a battery, like for a camera person. Is all I could think of
yeah,
for that being like
yeah.
a specific utility.
So that didn't work out.
Mm.
I've tried a lot of these things.
Yeah.
I used this bag. This is a Manfrotto bag. It's a camera.
Oh
bag.
Manfrotto. Yeah.
So it actually doesn't even. It opens from the top, but not all the way.
Mm.
It opens up through the back here,
Whoa.
and it has all the little squares to put the camera and stuff.
Oh nice.
This I carried around for a long time.
Yep.
This it has all like elastics on it. I don't know if you guys can see that, but they're all like elastics,
Oh,
and it would
yeah.
hold like a camera and stuff. And this would you could hold like little SD cards, and I would slide them into a bag.
And how would you carry that?
This would like just go in a bag, but
Oh,
it can
gotcha.
hold like a ton of like little things like adapters. You
Mm.
could put all your. I had all my adapters in here at one point. You could slide them all in there.
Nice.
This, God, I don't even know what this is. I think I don't know what that is. It's some sort of pouch.
Flashlight holder.
I think this goes over your belt like this. Maybe I don't know.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
Oh, these are little belt loops. So I think somehow it goes in your belt. I don't know.
Oh yeah, maybe those things clip to belt loops and it just clip it to it.
Oh,
Maybe.
yeah.
What else do I got in here?
Wow. Yeah, that's a
This
lot
is
of
my bag of
lot
bags.
of bags.
Yeah.
Bag and bags.
Oh, this thing.
Backpack.
This is so. This was pretty interesting. I wore this a couple times. Let's see if I can move this out of the way.
What's it called? The flip?
Flip belt. So this is like an elasticy
Whoa.
belt, and you wear it underneath, like on top of your belt,
Oh, neat.
but it's tight.
It's for like running.
And yeah, I think runners use it. But everything is like stretchy. So like you can
Oh,
can
cool.
really stretch this out and put like and what's cool about it is it's really low profile. So like it has these little slits. If you put your phone in it, it's gonna like elastic around your phone, but it's like
Yeah.
not bulky whatsoever.
That's
It's like just the
Wow.
thickness of your phone.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a pretty smart
Oh, that's
design.
cool.
But this is better for runners.
Yeah,
You
definitely. That's all I can
um,
think about with that.
Yeah,
That's nice.
earbuds and all your phone, and you could bring your keys and shit. Like that's what this would be. That's for.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I think that might be everything I have with me.
That's great.
And I had a lot of. I know I don't have any of the holders. I don't know where the holders are, but I had some holders that would go around the ankle and
Yeah,
go around
yeah.
your wrist. I mean
Mhm. Your arm.
arm or whatever.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I've always just been going through bags like this.
Yeah, well, it's something that you keep in mind. You can do your art and have a space like we luckily do, and then if you do plan on going out with it at all, it's something that you want to think about. For your canvases, Kaylee, what would you do if you had, you know what I mean? Because there's also the idea of protecting. Like a lot of that stuff I notice is weatherproof. So you also like when it comes to like paintings or
like
things
portable
like that.
painting and
Yeah,
stuff.
imagine like it raining and you messing up the painting, and then it's a completely different art piece when you get to wherever it is.
They do have those little. I really like those little canvases. They're like this big. And they're flat. Those are probably good for travel. But yeah, like you said, like especially what happens after you paint it.
Yeah.
How secure and safe can you make it?
And even especially like if you want to do like acrylic paint, like it's not like watercolor where it's just in this little tray that you can just close up.
Right.
Like acrylic's always in some kind of like tubes or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
So transporting anytime I've done like travel with like that, I either just throw it all in like a backpack or like a messenger bag.
Yeah.
That has like kind of designated areas for each thing,
I like the idea of having like, if you have the hooks for it, maybe multiple backpacks for different things. So like lenses, cameras, but also like so that they're great too because you can put them on a hook. Look at that top loop, so you can just like at your studio or whatever, instead of having cabinets, you have just like these backpacks full. Then in a certain circumstance, you could just grab one and go.
Yeah.
But I always liked the idea of that, like backpacks. But we've done that. We've taken the paints like. As well as like musical instruments, but like just take paints with us to, on trips or wherever we would go.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard to do it in like a very compact way. Like it's always got to be like a backpack or like a bag that you're like designated. Like I know it's going to be kind of a bulky bag, unless you're doing like watercolor or something.
Yeah,
it can be very.
And even then, you'd still need water. Which you never know, could be hard to come by at a certain moment.
Yeah.
That's something. I had a thought, but I lost it.
It's been really, really cool to see. A lot of these companies like Roland and Boss and what's the other one there? What's the one that does the Chaos Pad?
Can't think of the name.
I can't think of the name either. But anyway, they're making mini versions of their early instruments.
That's cool.
They're like, it'll be like a Micro Freak. It'd be like this big, or like an 808 or a 303 that's like this big. Little tiny versions of
Korg.
Korg.
Oh, Korg. Yeah,
that's what I was looking for.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really neat.
And then, so that mixer that I had is the mixer that I have that I told you is really portable. It's Teenage Engineering. They make tons of small.
Okay.
The problem with them is they're so expensive.
I see.
They're absolutely absurdly priced, but they're really cool, little portable. Their little field recorder is like so cool. But yeah, they have that OP1. Have you seen those? OP1s they're like this big, and they can do an awful lot for a little tiny thing. And that thing's been around for like probably 10 years,
right?
Maybe a little less. And it's still sort of like the standard of like, wow, this thing it's a DAW.
Yeah.
It's
in itself
that you can travel with.
That's great.
And like the Polyand Tracker, that's another really cool one. And that Chompy thing. I don't know, really cool.
All kinds of things there.
Yeah. It'd be cool if they like started making like little amps that actually sounded good. Like,
Yeah.
That
like
would
a
be
mini
really fun.
amp
Like a
that you could
mini,
bring.
like a little Fender Twin. But
I'm
like,
surprised they haven't found something, because
I know. I think the technology's there.
Well, it must. Well, yeah, because you get like Bluetooth speakers that sound actually really great. They're very, very tiny. They're actually, there was this one Roland. amp that my buddy has, my buddy
The
Zook
Cube?
has, Cube, and
Cube.
that sounds surprisingly good for the size that my friend has.
Mhm.
Like, I didn't expect it to be
Yeah.
what it is. I was really impressed. I was like, this could be used in a small club.
Mm.
Well, not a club, but like a small cafe or something. Like, perfect for a keyboard.
Yeah.
It's a single speaker though. That's the one thing.
Yeah.
I like to get.
The problem I always had with those was they made, I don't know what that, I bought one of the early ones and I stopped using it. It's like, if you're going to make this thing portable, you know, it needs a battery because they made these little speakers, but then you got to plug it in somewhere, you know?
This one was chargeable.
I don't know. Maybe the more
That
modern
would have
ones
been
are.
smarter for them to do, probably, right?
Yeah, I think the
I always assumed
technology.
they were always there because that's the idea. You're right. That's
Yeah.
the point. You need speed.
So the one I got, didn't have a battery in it or whatever.
I see.
And then I think maybe they came out with one with a battery, and the reviews were like, this thing lasts like 40 minutes.
That's too bad.
You know,
Because I think of like street performers. I think of like it was. I always thought it'd be great for that. It's not always
They
an
bring-
outlet, you know.
Yeah.
they bring like a battery. If
Yeah.
you- a
I see.
lot of.
Okay.
I mean, what was going on when I was, you know, back in like maybe 2014 when I was like playing music very regularly and like street performing and stuff. People were using those jumper packs for cars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But
What?
those
Yeah.
things they're terrible, and they're terrible for sound, and
Yeah.
they die really quick. But
Yeah.
people were using
Wow.
stuff like that. But I think nowadays, like, I mean, lithium batteries are extremely powerful now, and
Mm.
I'm sure that someone's doing something.
Yeah.
I know that little mixer I have is battery powered, and it'll last you like, you know, 8 to 10 hours.
Yeah, it's impressive.
You know,
Mm.
Mhm.
so it's pretty cool. Yeah, there's a lot of technology coming out that's making it easier and easier.
Like you said, it's always been on its way there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've always been doing that.
Yeah.
It's funny too because we were playing. I wonder if they can see it. Yeah, maybe they can. Under that light, over there is a old VHS
Okay.
camera,
Oh.
which was the idea to that is compact. There's even like small editing buttons, so compact that you can edit your video, your VHS video right here. You don't have to do beta to video. That was a huge thing to it. Your family. But before that was like 8mm, you know, where you had to get the projector, the specific projector to play,
Mm.
you know, and you had to like wind it all up and put it all on there.
Yeah.
So it was neat. Like there are like compact. It's actually the camera is actually like. It's funny because it's for like the late '90s. The usability of it is awesome. Like
Mm.
it's so nice. I'm like everything makes sense on this camera. Every single thing. And it's VHS, so the quality is what some would say is I love the quality. I think it looks gorgeous. But at the same time, like, you know, like of course it's not up to par with what we're using now, but at the same time also the interface, the physical interface, there's no digital point to it really. It's like makes so much sense.
Mm.
And everything's like so compact, everything you touch and do. Like to someone else, that thing is, you know, at that time that was compact. It's called the
Mm.
Reporter.
Mm.
So it's supposed to. The idea is that it replaces, you know, those
Like
big Reporter
bulky, yeah.
packs that they had. But yeah, it's big.
Yeah.
It's big.
That's very light though.
It actually, and again, like it's light. It is light now. It's I don't know if it's like kind of cheap. There's not too much going on in there when you really like think about what it is, but at the same time, because there's not going on in there, it's impressive as to what it does.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that was one thing that always irked me. I think like in like the mid 2000s up until like, I don't know, somewhere in the ballpark of the early 2010s, they were making camcorders.
Mm.
And these things were so compact and they were so versatile.
Mm-hmm.
And it just really irked me that the entire industry moved away from the camcorder design.
Yep.
In favor of regular DSLR cameras,
Right.
which I always hated. Like
Yeah.
I do not like the form factor of a camera, because it's designed for photographing, not for video. The way you hold it is totally designed to have two hands on the thing, to have, you know, pretty much access to all your buttons and stuff. But the camcorder design is something that was like so quick. I mean, you can operate this entire thing with one hand,
Mm.
you know, because I mean, they would be like this big and the quality would be fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, and it obviously it doesn't compare to what we got going on now, but that's because like the technology stopped. Like I have a camcorder. It's again like maybe half the size of a soda can or something. And this thing has a projector on it. It can literally project. It has optical zoom, and the optical zoom can go somewhere in the ballpark of like 20 times, right? So it's not digital zoom. That's one thing that drives me nuts about like these phone cameras and stuff is like they don't really have any optical zoom. There's stationary lenses and like it's all digital zoom, so it's just be cropping into the image and it looks like crap. Yeah, I wish someone would bring it back and start putting in modern technology into these camcorders because you know they're just so smart in their design. But you know they're terrible in low light. Like there's so many reasons that they're just not that great anymore. But yeah, some of those Sony camcorders, that little blue camcorder I have, I mean that thing's like it's like the size of a phone. It has 10 times optical zoom. You know?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be a fun thing. Maybe next week we can pull out old analog stuff.
Yeah.
And what would even be considered to be old.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's 2024 and we were geeking out over stuff, especially in like 2010, you know, 14 years ago. So take a look at that stuff. And then we have stuff that it's even older than that we can show folks. And, you know, we have a switcher now and means of taking some of the analog stuff. So maybe we do that. We can also do a little display of some of our older audio equipment that we have kicking around, reel to reel kind of shit. That'd be good. Fun. Yeah, and just maybe even old art styles, things like that. I don't know. We can think of like that for next week. That kind of like I had to say it just so that
yeah, that'd be cool.
So that we keep it fresh. But that'd be good. Yeah, thinking about all these things that are compact and thinking about how they used to do things, you know. I'll bust out the old typewriters too. We'll look at two, an electronic one and one that's not.
Yeah.
But you know, going from all these like different mediums. I mean, typewriter is a good example. They always wanted it to be portable. Portable. That's one thing I noticed.
Yeah, they all fold into a suitcase.
Yeah, they were in exactly like a suitcase, easy to take on the road. So if you're a reporter, journalist, even some kind of administrator, you know, salesman to, you know, type out checks and things like that. It's really interesting. And then as technology started to be introduced, some of them are like so massive, but they're not portable at all. They're word processors. That's what they're called, word processors. So it's like a huge thing that's made for an office, but then they made word processors portable. So they're like, you know, it's like light. It's cool. That's one of the ones that I showed last time. So yeah. We'll show a bunch of old equipment, maybe like a part 2 of, you know,
I got a good collection of camcorders that
sweet.
I could show. You have a couple.
Yeah, definitely.
That'd be fun. Maybe like also like we could think of we could have a whole that could take up the whole show. That'd be great. We could also have categories of like something trying to be portable that's like not at all. You know, or that. Well, like then it was portable and now it's not. The camera would be a great example of that.
Yeah. What's that Tascam audio recorder that hooks up to the DSLRs.
Yes. Yep.
I mean, it works, but it's a battery eater. You know, it doesn't have like a rechargeable battery or anything. It's
it's unfortunately it goes through AA's, things like that. It's supposed to
quicker than the battery of the camera.
Yeah, and then look at the mics that I had. You know, and those things are like so portable.
Yeah. It's just before the lithium age, like where, or maybe they figured people could at least use rechargeable lithium batteries, but they just don't hold. You know, you need a new solid bar lithium pieces. Like that's the most in regards to portability. Like I like that piece, but I always plug it in. You know, I always plug it into
Yeah, you
power.
have to.
It's a great little tiny mixer, compact, perfect. It almost, like, to me, it doubles the value, not necessarily the price, but the value of a piece of a camera, of a DSLR. You've got 2 XLRs right there. Like I want to put it under that VHS because that has to be plugged in. The battery for that does not work anymore. That's I don't even know what that is, but yeah. So that's everything. Charge, battery, energy. You know, that is a big thing. So yeah, maybe we'll show up more examples of that next week and think of other things. But that'd be good. Maybe also like printing. We could talk about printing too. Portability of printing things. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, why you would need to print something on the go unless it was a picture, which they've done. They had camera. What's that? The
Polaroid.
Polaroids, right?
Yeah.
The whole idea of that. That's pretty wild. I don't know. How are we looking at time?
We're almost at an hour. It's
Yeah?
like 50 minutes, I think.
Well, what do you guys think? We can call it there. And
Yeah.
Yeah, next week we'll do
Do some
portable
show-
old school stuff, I
Yeah.
guess.
show
Yeah.
and tell.
a show and tell. Yeah, we'll go back to show and tell. Yeah, may yeah, that'd be good. That'd be great. Well, thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Tuning in. Yeah, we'll see you next week.
And there we go.
Hanging out just another night of the week. Or to be more specific, it's a Tuesday Eve. Got some ideas that just might intrigue. You should come on by tonight. We're spilling the beans.